Hey everybody, it's Alex, back with some more math. We've been looking through a lot of different multiplication problems so far, and for pretty much everything that we've looked at so far, we've been multiplying numbers that are all between 1 and 9. And we've been doing that because there is a trick that can help us multiply numbers larger than 10, or 10 or larger actually, a lot easier than doing it the way that we've been looking at it. So, for an example, let's start with a pretty easy one. We're going to start with 2 times 11. Now, the way that we've been doing this so far is we've set it up generally like this, and we'd say that we want 2 groups of 11 added together. You can absolutely do that. You can say, here's our first 11 plus our second 11. And if you can do that addition in your head easily enough, you can see that 11 plus 11 is 22. And that's totally fine. And it works pretty well for doing small multiples of smaller numbers, but you can get to where you're multiplying two large numbers very quickly and very easily. And that's why I want to show you guys this other way of doing it. So you can set up the same problem, 2 times 11, and we'll put 11 on the top, the bigger number on the top. And we'll multiply it by 2 down here. So we have 11 times 2. Now before, we kind of broke it out to the side to do a similar addition to what we did over here. But now we're going to be doing our addition kind of inside of our multiplication equation over here. We're going to do it so that we take our number on the bottom, our first digit of this number, and we multiply it by the first digit above it. So we'll say 2 times 1, and that is 2. And then we'll have 2, the bottom first digit, times the top first digit. So we'll have 2 times 1 again, and we'll move that right down here next to it. So you can see our 11 times 2 down here is 22. And that is the same as our 2 times 11, breaking it out with 11 plus 11 up here. So you can see that they're the same. This is just an easy version of this. We'll do another one here real quick. Let's do 10 times 4. So we're going to do pretty much what we did above. We're going to take our main number down here. We're going to take that first digit. We're going to multiply it by the first digit above it. Here, that is going to be 4 times 0. And I know we haven't really talked about multiplying by 0 so far, but I think this is a good time to look into it. Effectively, what we're saying is we're going to have 4 groups of 0 added together. So that would be 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0. And we can do the math on that very quickly and say that all of these zeros added together are going to give you a 0. And you'll find that anytime you're multiplying by 0, whether it's 4 times 0 or 0 times 4, it's always going to be 0, because here you're saying you have 0 groups of 4. You can't have no groups of anything, so 0 times 4 is just going to be 0, either way you write it. So here, when we multiply 4 times 0, because it's the first number of, it's in the first digit place for our number 10 on top, 4 times 0 is going to give you a 0 in the bottom. And then we'll move on to do 4 times 1, which is going to give you a 4 in that position down here right next to your 0. And you can see that we have 10 times 4 is 40. Now, multiplying any number by 10, you're going to see that whatever number you're multiplying is just going to take over that first position. So we can do another times 10 real quick. Do 7 times 10. So 7 times 0, just like we said above, any number times 0 is going to be 0. Then 7 times 1, that's just one group of 7. So that'll come down here as 7. We can say that 10 times 7 is 70. Now let's get a little bit bigger. Here we'll do 23 on top. We'll say I want to multiply that by, we'll do 3 at first, and then we'll move on from there. So here we have it again. 3 times 3 is going to be 9. And 3 times 2 is going to be 6. So we know our answer of 23 times 3 is going to be 69. Now, there's a reason why I chose to do this one first, and it is that all of our numbers, when we do our multiple here, are less than 10. So let's do one where we make it bigger than 10 so we can see what the difference is. We'll keep pretty much the same setup as we had before. We'll even keep the 23 on top, but this time, instead of multiplying it by 3, we'll multiply it by 4. And we'll see that when you multiply 4 by 3, that's going to give you a 12. We can write that out here. We'll do 4 times 3 equals 12. Now, what we're going to do with this 12 is kind of like what you do with addition. Whenever you're adding numbers in a similar format, you'll put your first digit of your answer down here in your ones place. Then you'll put your second digit of your answer up here to be added in later. So with that in place, this is a little +1 to our next answer. We'll say, what is 4 times 2? 4 times 2 is 8. So we'll write that out. 4 times 2 is 8. And what we're going to want to do with this extra 1 up here is add it to our answer that we got from doing this second little multiplication. So 8 plus 1 is going to be 9. So we can say that 23 times 4 is 92. And let's do one more of these, and then we'll get to one size bigger after this. So one more of these. We'll say we're going to do 48. We're going to multiply that by, we'll do it by 6. All right. 6 times 8 is going to be our first one. And that's going to equal 48. So we're going to take our ones digit, we're going to put it down here. We're going to take our tens digit, and we're going to add it after we do our next multiplication. Our next multiplication is 6 times 4. 6 times 4 is 24. So we're going to say, what is 24 plus 4? Well, 24 plus 4 is 28. So we'll write that down here next to our first answer. And we can see that 48 times 6 is going to give us 288. So now that we've done this, I'll take it one step further. We'll do a number in the hundreds instead of just between 1 and 100. We can see how it kind of stacks over. This will probably be the last one because we're running a little short on time. I will do that right here. Let's see. We'll do 123. We'll do that times 3. So yeah, we'll do this one real quick. Then we might bust out one last one. We'll do 3 times 3. That's going to give us 9. 3 times 2, it's going to give us 6. And 3 times 1 is going to give us 3. So 123 times 3 is 369. I'll squeeze this in here real quick. We'll do this one last time. We're going to look at 123 again. This time we'll multiply it by 4. So we'll get some numbers moving over. We'll see 4 times 3 is 12. So we'll move the 2 down here, the 1 up here. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. And then finally, 4 times 1 is going to be 4. So we can say that 123 times 4 is 192. If you want to check that, you can look at what we had here. 123 times 3 gave 369. This is just one more addition of 123. So you can see that, we'll do that out here. 369 from over here, plus our extra 123 that we're going to get from multiplying over here, doing this one more addition to make this be 123 times 4. That's effectively what this is. We'll see 9 plus 3 is 12. 1 plus 6 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. And then 3 plus 1 is 4. And that's more or less how this math breaks down. We can do more examples next time. And we can look at multiplying by bigger numbers in the bottom as well. But in the meantime, I hope this made sense to all of you guys. Feel free to ask questions in the comment section below. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.